4,200 not-for-profits representing about 15% of the city, but none of those has ever won the New York Community Trust Excellence Nonprofit Awards. Joining me now is Melquis Alvarez from the Nonprofit Coordinating Committee, the group that runs the awards. And thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Kathy.
Well, from my understanding, this is the 8th year of the awards, and the organization has had about 559 applicants and 23 winners from different areas. But the question is never a winner from Queens, and why is that?
Right, so in the first 7 years, we actually haven't received very many applications from Queens organizations. Only about 20 organizations have applied. And so we'd like to increase those numbers this year. There's 4,200 nonprofits in Queens, and so we know that there are excellent organizations in the borough.
Absolutely. And the awards recognize not-for-profits for excellent management practices. What specifically are you looking for in applicants?
Right, so we encourage organizations of all sizes to apply, all ages, all missions. There's something valuable that they can get through going through this process. And basically the selection committee, which is a panel of nonprofit experts, is looking at management practices in 8 key performance areas, going from managing for results, fundraising, governance, communications, human resources, and cultural competency, and also technology.
Well, that's excellent. And there's a good deal of prize money involved, plus the recognition of winning the honor. But there are also other benefits of winning. And talk about that. If a nonprofit wins this award, what are some of the benefits that they get?
Sure. So there's a total of $60,000 in cash prizes for 3 winners. But as Lori Slutsky from the New York Community Trust says, the real prize is just in going through the application process. All applicants can receive in-depth feedback and coaching on their management practices from this expert panel of selection committee members. And really just going through the process is what's important, not necessarily winning. It's an educational program, so there's something to gain through just applying.
Let's talk about some of the groups that have applied and even won. What is the progression you've seen from them going through this process?
Yeah, and actually that's a great question. Most of the winners have applied at least once before, and so even though this might be an organization's first year applying, there's actually a lot of value in just going through it. What a lot of applicants tell us, even those that haven't won, is that they have gained a ton of perspective on their own organization by creating a team of stakeholders, their clients, their board members, and getting together to sort of articulate their organizational story a little bit better. And so that's one of the perks of just going through the process and managing, and also just in managing, improving their management practices.
Absolutely, and we touched upon earlier in the interview about how none of the not-for-profits in Queens has won yet. Mm-hmm. And so, from my understanding, there's an outreach effort to areas in Queens and other areas in which there have been not as many applicants. So tell me a little bit about that.
Sure, so we've ramped up our communications efforts this year to encourage those areas where we've traditionally seen lower number of applicants to apply. And so we've purchased ads in nonprofit publications. We're running a series of application clinics in many of these areas to tell organizations about the application process, what they get out of it, what they can expect through the entire process, and what the selection is like. We've also reached out to various media to get the word out. It's a valuable program, and we hope that organizations will take advantage of it.
Absolutely. What's the overall goal, or what's the vision you see for these nonprofits as they go through the process?
Sure. So the awards program showcase best practices in nonprofit management, thereby sort of elevating the performance of the entire nonprofit community. And better managed nonprofits are better able to achieve their mission and achieve better results for the people and causes that they serve. And so, in essence, the program seeks to disseminate those best practices to improve performance across the board.
Now let's talk about the application process. When is the deadline and when are the winners announced?
Sure. So the application deadline is on May 2nd, and the winners will be announced in November. Before then, 10 semifinalists will be selected from all applicants, and then 6 finalists will be selected from those 10, and finally 3 winners in November.
And just what is your overall hope for the awards and for the programs and everything? What is the overall?
My overall goal and that of the Community Trust and Philanthropy New York and the Nonprofit Coordinating Committee, which manages this program, is to strengthen the nonprofit sector in the New York City area, the boroughs, Long Island, and Westchester. The sector does really great work, and so we want to make sure that we're equipping them with the management tools to make that work possible.
Well, that sounds so great. Is there anything else you'd like to add for people out there that are interested?
Sure. For more information, you can visit our website. It's npexcellence.fcny.org. The application is there, and we hope to see many Queens organizations apply this year. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much for joining us, and we hope that a lot of the organizations out in Queens and neighboring boroughs also look into the wonderful program.
Queens Week in Review is sponsored by Resorts World Casino, New York City. Minutes, not hours.